2,000 warriors could not stop the moon. On the 15th night of the 8th month, an old bamboo cutter barred his doors and hid his daughter in the innermost room. 1,000 archers waited on his roof. Another 1,000 ringed the house. They were not guarding her from an army. They were guarding Princess Kaguya from the sky. Before dawn, a shining cloud would descend. Every weapon would fail, and the child he had raised for 20 years would remember a home no human could reach. Years earlier, the bamboo cutter had been a poor and childless old man. Each morning he walked into the hills, cut green stalks, and carried them home to shape into household wares. One day a soft brilliance flooded the grove, as though moonlight had gathered beneath the leaves. The glow came from one hollow stem. Inside stood a tiny girl, scarcely 3 inches tall. The old man lifted her into his palm and whispered that heaven must have sent the child to meet him in the place of his daily work. He brought her home to his wife, and together they gave the little stranger all the love they had saved for a child of their own. From that day, the old man found gold and precious stones inside other bamboo stalks. Poverty loosened its hold on the family. They built a finer house, but their true treasure was the child. In only 3 months, she grew into a young woman. Her long black hair fell over robes the color of pearl and dusk, and a gentle radiance seemed to follow her through every room. At her naming feast, she was called Kaguya-hime, the shining princess, Princess Kaguya. Her foster parents never forgot where they had found her. Yet in every way that mattered, she was their daughter. News of Kaguya's beauty traveled beyond the bamboo hills. Suitors crowded the lane, peered through gaps in the fence, and sent poems that received no answer. Most eventually went home. 5 noblemen remained through winter frost and summer heat. The bamboo cutter, now old and anxious about his daughter's future, asked her to choose one. Kaguya refused to be won by rank or persistence. If their devotion was real, she said, each man could prove it by bringing an object that should have been impossible to possess. The first must bring the stone begging bowl once used by the Buddha. The second must find a jeweled branch from legendary Mount Horai with roots of silver and a trunk of gold. The third must obtain the fireproof skin of the fire rat. The fourth must take a 5-colored jewel from a dragon's head. The fifth must find the shell hidden within a swallow. The noblemen agreed because each believed wealth or deception could succeed where love had not. Kaguya had not given them errands. She had given their character nowhere to hide. The first nobleman had no courage to travel to India. He bought an old bowl from a temple, wrapped it in cloth of gold, and waited 3 years before returning. Kaguya opened the bundle. A holy relic, she believed, should fill the room with its own light. The stone remained dull. She returned it without seeing him. Time had made the lie older, not truer. The second nobleman secretly hired 6 jewelers to build the branch he claimed to have taken from Mount Horai. When it was finished, he arrived in travel-stained clothes and described storms, demons, and a golden tree at the edge of the world. Even the bamboo cutter nearly believed him. Then the unpaid craftsmen appeared at the gate and asked Kaguya for their wages. The false wonder collapsed under the weight of an ordinary debt. Kaguya paid the workers and sent the branch back. The third nobleman purchased what he was told was the fire rat's skin. Kaguya placed it in a flame. It crackled and burned. The fourth sent servants to find the dragon's jewel, then finally sailed out himself. A storm broke his courage before any dragon could test it. The fifth never found the swallow's shell at all. One by one, the impossible gifts exposed imitation, cowardice, and desire without truth. Kaguya married none of them. At last, even the emperor heard of the woman who had refused 5 great nobles. He came to the bamboo cutter's house and saw Kaguya glowing softly behind her attendants. He asked her to enter the palace, promising every honor his court could give. Kaguya said she did not belong there. When he tried to take her with him, her body began to fade into a shadow before his eyes. Horrified, the emperor released her. Her form returned, but he understood that no decree could make this mysterious woman human. The emperor left without Kaguya. He never forced her again. Instead, they exchanged poems. His verses spoke of longing. Hers answered with kindness and distance. She could care for the people of Earth, but she could not promise them a future. The closer she came to those who loved her, the more carefully she seemed to stand at the edge of their world. Then as the 8th month approached, Kaguya began sitting alone beneath the full moon. Night after night, her foster parents found her in tears. Finally, she told them the truth. She had come from the moon. Her life on Earth had been a temporary exile, and on the 15th night, her people would return for her. She remembered parents in that other world only dimly. The mother and father she knew were here. If she could choose, she said, she would remain and care for them in their old age. But choice was the one gift the moon had not left her. The bamboo cutter refused to accept that any power could simply reclaim the daughter he had raised. Word reached the emperor. He sent 2,000 trained warriors to the house, 1,000 on the roof and 1,000 at every gate and wall. Bows were strung. Armor plates whispered in the night air. Kaguya watched the preparations with grief. She told her father the soldiers could not help. The beings coming for her did not cross roads, climb walls, or fear arrows. No one slept. The harvest moon climbed above the bamboo, turning the roof silver. The archers stared upward until their eyes burned. Midnight passed. The sky began to pale, and a fragile hope moved through the guards. Perhaps the warning had been wrong. Perhaps dawn would keep Kaguya on Earth. Then a cloud formed around the moon. It did not drift with the wind. It rolled downward. The cloud swallowed the stars and stopped just above the house. Within it floated a chariot and a company of luminous beings. Their leader stepped into the air as if the sky were solid ground. He called for Princess Kaguya. The bamboo cutter came forward and protested that the woman inside could not be the one they sought. He had raised her for 20 years, he said, and she had done no wrong. The messenger answered that her time of punishment on Earth was complete. The gold found in the bamboo had been payment for her care. The warriors tried to hold their positions, but the light from the cloud took the strength from their hands. Bows sagged. Arrows would not fly. Doors and screens slid open without being touched. From the inner room, Kaguya emerged in her pale robes, shining more brightly than every lamp in the house. 2,000 soldiers had prepared for a battle. There was no battle to fight. The moon had not come as an invader. It had come as a law of nature. Kaguya looked back at the old couple. She told them again that leaving was not her wish, and she gave her foster father an embroidered outer robe to remember her by. One moon attendant held a feathered robe. Another carried the elixir of life. Before they dressed Kaguya for the sky, she asked for time to write one final letter to the emperor, while her human memories were still her own. She placed the letter beside the remaining elixir and entrusted both to her father. The moon beings placed the feathered robe across Kaguya's shoulders. In the old tale, that heavenly garment loosened the sorrow and attachments of earth. She stepped into the chariot as dawn colored the horizon. Her foster parents watched until the vehicle became a point of light, then vanished among the morning clouds. The house remained. The warriors remained. Only the daughter at the center of them was gone. Kaguya's letter in the elixir of life reached the emperor. Immortality had once sounded like the greatest treasure a ruler could possess. Without Kaguya, he would not drink it. He ordered messengers to carry the letter and elixir to the summit of the highest sacred mountain and burn them there. Later retellings connect the smoke above Mount Fuji with that final fire. A landscape holding the memory of a woman Earth could love, but never keep. Princess Kaguya's tale is not documented history. It is a literary story inherited from Japan's classical tradition, known as the Tale of the Bamboo Cutter. This narration follows the major arc preserved in Yei Theodora Ozaki's 1908 English retelling, The Child in the Bamboo, The Five Impossible Quests, The Emperor, The Moonlit Departure, and The Elixir Sent to the Mountain. Descriptions of private thoughts, pacing between scenes, and some visual detail are creative connective narration used to carry the old story without claiming that its wonders were historical events. The suitors tried to possess Kaguya with treasures. The emperor tried to protect her with power. Her parents tried to hold her with love. Only love understood what the others could not. Keeping someone and loving them are not always the same thing. If you want another complete old tale after Nightfall, subscribe and come back when the lamps are low.